3 days. That was all the time Kamsi had left. Not to live, but to stop something terrible from happening. Because 3 days ago, something impossible happened. When Kamsi touched his father, he saw the future. And in that future, his father was dead. Kamsi was only 12 years old. A quiet boy who spent most of his time sitting under the old baobab tree at the edge of the village. While other children laughed, ran, and chased each other across the dusty square, Kamsi watched. He observed people carefully, sometimes too carefully, because lately, something strange had begun happening to him. Whenever his skin touched another person, even by accident, his mind would explode with images. Images that did not belong to the present. Images from the past. And sometimes, images from the future. At first, Kamsi thought he was losing his mind. But the visions were becoming stronger and more frightening. One afternoon, the village market was louder than usual. Women shouted prices. Goats wandered between stalls. The smell of roasted corn filled the air. Kamsi pushed through the crowd carefully, trying not to touch anyone. But suddenly, he bumped into a man. Their hands touched, and in that instant, the world disappeared. Kamsi saw iron bars. Dark room. A man crying inside a prison cell. Then everything snapped back. The market noise returned. The man he had touched laughed and walked away. Kamsi stood frozen, because the man he saw in the prison was the same man he had just touched. Kamsi tried to forget the vision. He told himself it meant nothing, just his imagination. But later that day, the village guards arrived. They dragged the same man away, accused of stealing money from the traders. And as the villagers shouted in anger, Kamsi felt cold fear crawl down his spine, because he had already seen this moment, before it happened. That night, Kamsi sat quietly in the family courtyard. His father was sharpening a farming knife nearby. Kamsi stared at him, his hands trembling. Slowly, he reached forward and touched his father's arm. Suddenly, dark clouds, thunder, a raging river. His father standing near the edge, arguing with someone. Slip, fall, and the river swallowing him. Kamsi pulled his hand away violently, his heart pounding, because in that moment, he had seen his father die. Kamsi tried to warn him. He explained everything. The visions, the market man, the river. But his father only stared at him in anger. He slapped the boy hard. Enough of this nonsense, his father said. You cannot see the future. Only God knows tomorrow. Kamsi lowered his head, but deep inside, he knew the vision was real. The next day, the entire village gathered at the chief's palace. A dispute between two farmers needed judgment. Kamsi stood quietly behind the crowd. But as people pushed forward, his hand brushed the chief. And suddenly, fire, huts burning, people screaming, the sky red with smoke, the chief lying on the ground, bleeding. Then the vision vanished. Kamsi staggered backward. 'Cause this time, it wasn't just one person in danger. It was the entire village. Kamsi stopped touching people after that. But it didn't matter. The visions were already inside his head. Some showed betrayal. Some showed sadness. Some showed terrible secrets hidden behind smiling faces. And every vision carried the same message. The future was coming. And nobody believed him. The morning of the third day arrived quietly. Too quietly. Roosters crowed. The village woke slowly. But inside Kamsi's chest, fear was growing like a storm. Because that was the day his father planned to travel. And the river lay directly along that path. That evening the sky turned dark. Wind rushed through the trees. Kamsi followed his father secretly, through the narrow bush path, toward the river. And when they reached the water, the storm began. The argument from the vision happened exactly as Kamsi had seen. His father stepped backward. His foot slipped. and he fell toward the raging river. Kamsi grabbed him. But the moment their skin touched, another vision appeared. One future showed the village burning, the other showed it safe. And somehow, the difference between those futures was whether his father survived that night.
So tell me, if you were Kamsi, would you save your father? Or save the village? Write your answer in the comments. Because the choice Kamsi made that night changed the fate of the entire village. And what happened next? No one could have predicted. If you love powerful African stories like this, subscribe to Powerful African Tales. Because the next story might change the way you see the future.